What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's episode number 35. Loads to get through today in the second episode of our second season at Manchester United on the back of our loss in the Charity Shield to Liverpool. 3 new signings so far, but so much money in the budget, we're definitely making at least 1 or 2 more today. Thing is though, I don't really know who to go for. I mean, we probably will see the end to the Tapsoba and the Lit saga today. Are they going to stay? Are they going to go? At this point, I'm totally open to either of those things happening. But, I mean, the first 11 is fantastic, really. But, you know, the squad depth has improved a little bit. But what do we really need to do? I'm thinking about converting Sanchez to striker for this year as well. It seems kind of pointless, really, when we know he's good enough to do that without needing to change the position. But might as well do something to make him an official striker, if you will. I've always thought that EA should do that. When a player has played in a position long enough, you shouldn't have to change the position. It should just get added there, if you know what I mean. It doesn't need to be a primary one. But for example, Sanchez's third position is striker. He didn't play a single minute as CM last season, so why not flip those two around, you know, so striker becomes his second position instead of his third one. But, yeah, really, otherwise, I don't really know what to do, really. I mean, we could fit out the squad a little bit, sell a couple of these players here, but otherwise, there's not really much to do. And I was just loaned out one of my young centre-halves. But this is definitely not where the Lit is going, man. I mean, I said before, I'm open to selling the club captain. Now he's 28, and he's in the prime of his career, but we know the stamina is the issue. And, of course, he just brought in Araujo, but... yeah, it's not going to be Liverpool. Sorry, it's not going to be Liverpool where Matthias goes to next. I'm shocked, really, that the bids so far haven't been from the clubs I was expecting. Brentford, okay, fair enough, they're a Europa League side now. Roma, I could see it, but Liverpool as well. I mean, where are the bids from the teams that I was expecting? As things stand, they're just not coming in. Anyway, let's jump into our first game of the Premier League season. It's going to be Fulham at home. Last season, of course, we were 2 games away from possibly being over a shout of winning the Premier League title, which, of course, went to Liverpool once again. But I've said, just like last season, it'll be great to be in a title race, but the most important thing is just staying in the Champions League. If we're going to do that, we've got to win our home game. Starting here, Marco Silva side at Old Trafford in the curtain raiser. I was expecting bids from AC Milan, PSG, maybe even a return to Bayern or Juve, to be honest. I mean, he'd do a great job in any of those teams, and he'd do a great job in this team as well, if he could actually play game after game. As Susak is denied by Livakovic, Sanchez picks up the loose ball, and the chance remains alive with Jadon Sancho having a shot blocked and Fulham getting it away. That's literally the only reason why I'm thinking about selling De Ligt. Otherwise, he's totally fine. If he just, you know, didn't get so tired, he'd always play in this team. Araujo to Anderson. Now Larson back to Elliott. And, you know, I still haven't decided who's going to wear that. Sancho go right. Still wear that captain's armband this season. And maybe this guy could be in with a shout. It's only his second season for us. But Oyan Sanchez, I don't think he's going to have any kind of problems this season. Just like last season. Staying red hot in this Red Devils lineup. He is that good. CAM, CM or striker. He will always be a striker and he'll always get me the goals. I mean, realistically, and that's the key, realistically, who should take the armband in this team? There's Joey Vim, we've got to shoot a day. Travis Walker to say that. Who should take the armband here? I mean, I always like to give it to a player that's been with the club since I inherited the squad, as opposed to new signings I've brought in. But if that's going to be the case, there's only a few options you could give, really. And if you're looking at players that have been here since the beginning of the save, well, there's only a couple. And Sancho is probably the... Oh, what a save! Trafford and no rebound turn. Probably the only one he'd give it to, but I wouldn't really consider him to be much of a leader. But anyway, Mika Bieref with a leveler. Trafford, great save. Rebound turn. I've not had a good game out there, to be fair. 1-1. And despite spending big on those 3 new signings, I don't think we're done yet. There is no way we get in a title race this season based on the start to the season with our 2 performances. It's not going to cut it. Yeah, rebuilds are what they say they are. Rebuilding, you know? Like, you don't get that done in 12 to 18 months, you know? It takes a long time. That's an interesting bid, that. Matthias de Ligt wanted by Dortmund. Obviously a Bayern Munich rival there. And of course the two clubs have had a lot of different players over the years. Normally players that go from Dortmund to Bayern like Lewandowski and Goetze and Hummels and so on. I'm going to turn that one down there as I wait for another bid. But yeah, this is a rebuild, man. Things are going to take time. And I have no doubt we can be in a title race because we were last season. I have no doubt we could possibly retain the FA Cup. as Almeria want Tamp sober. Some of the bids are very strange, I must say. It's Yaka the cheat code. Anyone remember him? He's included in the swap deal. But yeah, I think we could possibly go for that FA Cup again. I think we might even be in a title race again, but I think the objectives are far too hard, man. And already I'm feeling the pressure 2 games in. So match day 2 of the Premier League, our 3rd game of the season. Everton away at Goodison last year. This was the fixture that kind of ended any kind of title chance when we got thrashed 5-1 at Goodison for my heaviest defeat in managerial career so far. Have we learnt our lessons, and can we get it right here for our first win of the season? Toffees away next up. I think Arsenal are a brilliant example of that, you know. I mean, since Arteta's came in there and they, you know, began their rebuild, well, they've won an FA Cup, of course, but that's the only trophy they've been able to win so far in his era there. I think. Am I right, Arsenal fans? Is that right? Am I missing something? Hold on. I actually want to make sure I get this right, because if I get this wrong, I'm going to get some very, very critical comments for missing something, clearly. Where are we? Arsenal manager. Well, yeah, okay, so we've got the Community Shield there, but yeah, the FA Cup is the only major honour so far, of course. And yeah, of course, they've had a couple of chances at the Premier League as well, most notably a couple of seasons ago too, but it takes time. That's 6 years. 6 years, 1 major honour, 2 minor honours. But Arsenal now are becoming one of the bigger teams in England once again after a period of uncertainty, if you will. But it takes time. You can't do it in 1 season or even 2. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take us time as well. Our team's great. It's building. It's becoming really good, but it's a mentality thing. Oh, Sanchez, what a finish. And it's going to take time for us to get back to where we've fallen from. The board of being way too expectant. Kubo to Larson. Sanchez on there. Susak's also free. And it's a first of the year for the Thai boy who gives us the opener. And despite all the new signings we've made, don't think this guy's going to have a reduction in his minutes. He's the wonder kid from Thailand. He's still going to be one of our stars in the front 3. My aim this season is retain the FA Cup and stay in the Champions League. And that is not being underselling. Oh, it's too easy. That's not underselling the quality of this team. I know we've got a good enough team to challenge for a Premier League title. I know we can go far in Europe as well. But again, the competition in the Premier League, as we all know, gets stronger and stronger year after year. Oh, Sanchez. Great block. But yeah, I'm just being realistic. The key of the save, realistic, man. I think that is realistic for us to be expecting in this, our 2nd season. There are so many things I want to do with this Manchester United team, but we've got to do it. Ball. Finish. Yes! By being kind to ourselves. There is no point in sitting there and saying we should be favourites to win the Champions League this year, because it's just simply not true. And I always say that everyone should have grand ambitions in life and want to do some great things. You know, the white whale, for example. I think everyone should have a white whale, something they're so desperate to do in time. But you're not going to go and harpoon the white whale when you've only spent 10 minutes paddleboarding and don't know how to steer a boat, for example. It's not going to happen. You need to take it in time. Oh, what a game this is though, 3-2, and I still think there's more goals to come here. And off the bench to Elliot Anderson. And, you know, we speak about captains. Elliot Anderson is so consistently brilliant, man, at right back. I definitely would consider him. If he'd been here for an extra year, I'd probably give it to him as well, but it's only his 2nd season. It'd be hard to give him it right now, but I still could. Oh, Susak, hat-trick. First in professional football for Susak. And what a game he has had out there. The Thai wonder kid saying, yeah, things take time, but I've already arrived as one of the best young talents in English football. That is a wonderful goal in a wonderful 66 minutes worth of football. Red Devils lead with all 3 points, no doubt now. Into the final 7 minutes of normal time. And start this season off defensively. No clean sheets. Not exactly what we were hoping for to begin this campaign, but in terms of goals, we look brilliant when going forward, and that's going to be a 4th for Susak. Wow! That is his best game so far in a Manchester United shirt. When you talk about being unstoppable, Susak Kongaria, I'm not sure how you pronounce that surname to be honest, has just been absolutely unstoppable. Out of all the brilliant players we've got in this team, of all the great attacking pieces, He might be one of the lower rated, but he's certainly got the highest potential. Absolutely dominant display, 5-2. What a win at Goodison for our first victory of the season. Hey, maybe we can win the Premier League this year. Listen, if we play like that every game, we definitely have a chance. But as we know, consistency is the name of the game. It's doing that every game. That's the problem. So 7 days to go for our following game. Freiburg want to take Aaron Hickey. Now, I'm not against selling Hickey, to be fair. Like I said, last year I didn't really get on with him, but yeah, he had a bit of time spent in Bologna. If a Serie A club comes in for him, I wouldn't mind selling him back there to Italy. But for now, I'll keep him as my backup right back for Elliott. So it looks like De Ligt and Tapsoba are going to be staying after all then. Liverpool want to buy another one of my players. Again, I'm going to turn it down. Not doing business with Arnie Slot side right now. But I think at the moment, De Ligt and Tapsoba are likely to be staying for at least one more season. No, they're not. Well, I was waiting for this, PSG to put in a bid. I thought they were going to go for De Ligt opposed to Tapsoba, to be honest. But fair enough, they want the Burkina Faso international. And I'm going to turn down the swap deal because I have no plans to have Aston Ranks coming. It'd be like 8th choice centre midfield here. So I'm just going to ask Luis Enrique to give us a round valuation. I mean, I know he's out of contract come the end of the season, but come on, in modern day football, 30 million for a great centre half in the prime of his career right now that would fit his team really well. I don't see why that's a big issue for a club like PSG with all the money they've got. And he agrees. 30 mil, Tapsoba is off to Paris. And what that means is the... Oh dear. Oh no. Who is it? Who's... Bayern want to bring him back. Am I going to sell them both then? Lazio as well. I was just about to say, in that case, I might ask Matthias to stay and just sell Tapsoba. But Bayern are one of the clubs that I think would probably work out there. Bring him back to the Allianz Arena after leaving. Going to turn down a bit from Lazio, but I was expecting Bayern or Juve at some point, and in the end it is the Germans. Well, I don't want to sell him now. I don't want to sell him because if both he and Tapsoba go, then that means that, and we can still bring in another centre half alongside Thomas. But I don't know now. I might keep Matthias. I know he's 29. I know he's not going to get any better, and I know that stamina is the big issue as well. But I might just ask, how much would he want, if we were to extend a contract, how much would he ask for? If he's willing to take a pay cut, then I will keep Matthias De Ligt here. Because one of the big issues we got is we've got a lot of players that are on inflated salaries, and I get in modern day football it's not really inflated, especially for a club like this, but if Matthias would take a pay cut, he'll stay on important. I don't mind extending it, just a couple of years, He's okay with that as well, and that'll take him up until he's time for him to move on elsewhere. But if he takes a minor pay cut, I say keep Matthias De Ligt, sell Tapsoba, and maybe bring in a younger centre half to possibly replace Matthias in a year or two. 100 grand, £1 million sign-on bonus, and the club captain, it's still a pay cut, I'll take it. I'm going to keep De Ligt here. I was thinking about selling them both, but instead I'm going to keep Matthias here. U-turn, the club captain stays. Because again, what we're going to do is lose Tapsoba, so that means Araujo can come in and play as that RCB, which is perfect. And that means at the moment Teden is going to be the guy that comes on the bench. We'll have Aiden Heaven in the reserves. Is that enough? Do we need another new centre half? Again, I was thinking maybe a younger centre half that can possibly develop. But then we've got Aiden Heaven for that. He's only 21, don't forget. And also Jarrell can play LCB. I don't think we need to sign a new centre half, to be honest. I think we'll be okay. Barring an injury crisis, I think we'll be alright with those options after Tapsoba goes. Well, did not expect that. I thought that it'll probably be De Ligt that ends up going. In the end, it's Tapsoba, and Matthias will be staying for at least another year. So, following game, before the Tapsoba deal goes through, we'll take on Aston Villa at Old Trafford, go for our first home win of the season, and back-to-back wins to hopefully kickstart our campaign after the draw on the opening day. Unai Emery's side coming to Old Trafford next, as we hope for our first home win this year. The thing about De Ligt as well is that he's a leader. Like, he's a natural born leader. He captained Ajax as a teenager. He's captained his country a few times as well. Pretty sure he's worn the armband elsewhere too. But he's a leader, you know. And every team needs every team needs a leader, especially during periods of uncertainty like this. That says, guys, I've got a load of experience. I know what it feels like when these things are happening. We're going to steady the ship, and I'm going to be the captain of this ship right now. And Ollie Watkins has just opened the scoring as Matthias right now is out of the squad with Tapsoba on his farewell game, not getting the start he wanted. 1-0 down early. Great win at Goodison, but There is no way we do all of those 3 objectives this season. We're not good enough for it yet. Yeah, Matthias de Ligt has been around the block and then some. And you forget how young this guy is as well. I mean, in real life, he's only in his mid-20s. Great ball through, and Sanchez continues his great starts of the season as well. He's only in his mid-20s, Matthias de Ligt. He just burst onto the scene that young at Ajax as a 16, 17-year-old, and just never, he literally never lost his place in the first 11 with Ajax, and then obviously Bayern and Juve in the other order. But yeah, he just, it's crazy when you think about how many games he's clocked up at such a young age, both club and country. That's the kind of guy you want in your team that's got so much experience, so many different situations he's been thrust upon as a young man dealing with that. It's helped develop his character. Yeah, that would have been my pitch in the contract negotiations to Matthias. So I would have said, bro, you've won league titles everywhere you've gone, but you haven't won one here yet. What to say, James Trafford? You got yourself Serie A, Eredivisie, Bundesliga. You can go back to Bayern, you can win the Bundesliga again if you want, mate, or you can try and win a Premier League title with us at some point. 30 minutes to go as things stand, still tied at 1-1. Joe Porro down the right hand side, clips one in. Ollie Watkins controls. This is it wide, and as things stand, it's going to be back-to-back 1-1 draws at Old Trafford to start the season off. And, Fulham and Aston Villa, certainly no pushovers. Oh, Sanchez! Don't get me wrong, but yes, come on! These are the games you need to win to have a chance at the title. Sanchez wins it to death. Red Devils get their first home win of the season. Goodness gracious me, we have got away with it, but it's why I desperately need to bring in a backup striker before this window closes. I play every minute with Sanchez because he's the only guy I trust in that lone striker role to get the job done late, like he's just done there. What an escape. And after the game, we see it. Tapsoba's deal confirmed off to PSG for 30 mil. That is a steal in modern day football with him in the prime of his career right now at 29. But I had a contract come the end of the season. I had to choose who was going to go, either he or de Ligt. In the end, I was stuck faith in my captain, and we'll see if that proves to be the right decision or the wrong one. So deadline day is here. 150 mil in the budget. We got to make a new signing. Well, I'm definitely not going to sell Jadon Sancho to Liverpool, that's for sure. Arnie, get the hint. Stop bidding for my players, man. We're not doing business. But if we are going to bring in that backup striker, there's a few names I've got on the shortlist here that I think would be really good options for us. Unfortunately, I don't know whether to take a backup striker role. I mean, Marcus Leonardo at Roma right now, Lois Openda at Atletico, and Victor Boniface at Leverkusen. These are my 3 main targets, but are they going to take a backup striker role in the prime of their careers right now? Probably not. A couple might consider it. Durasimbi, who of course was with me at Leicester, might want to come with me to Old Trafford. Obviously, Balogun is now at Getafe as well. But also Mika Bieref as well. He's a really good young forward, of course. Was on the books with Arsenal. Right now at Fulham. Scored against me on match day 1 as well. I really like this guy's stats as well, man. Really strong, but also very quick. Physically very, very good at 6'2", and finishing as well. 90 means that clinical finishing off the bench, this guy won't have a problem. Would he want to come to us right now and be a backup striker? Possibly. Louis Saha 2.0, Fulham, Manchester United. Let's go bring him in. Yeah, when Louis Saha joined Manchester United, I might be getting my timeline slightly wrong here, but there was obviously fierce competition with Van Nistelrooy and Solskjaer, and obviously then Rooney came in as well. So he obviously got a lot of minutes, scored a lot of goals as well. I think he's one of the more underrated players during that era for Manchester United. But that's why I'll be saying to Mika, listen, you can come here, but there's competition and then some with Sanchez right now leading our line. But I'll give Marco Silva 8 mil plus Conrad, because that'll free Harder, because at the moment he's not going to get any game time here. They do want him, but a lot of money as well. I don't know which striker would have more potential, really. Obviously, Conrad's Gyökeres's understudy at Sporting right now. We know how good the Swede is. But Mika's obviously a heck of a talent as well. We go 14 mil plus Conrad. That, I would say, is fair in this market. And Marco agrees as well. So we're trading our backup striker for Fulham starter. But how good is he going to be as the understudy? Normally, in all of my career modes, I opt for short-term loss if it leads to long-term gain when building my squads. Well, this is one of the only times you'll see me do it the other way around. Conrad may well have had more potential in his early 20s and already up to 82 overall. But Mika is more of a proven goal scorer and someone I have more faith in to fill the shoes of Sanchez when he needs a breather. And that'll be a lot more than last season now we're playing playing in Europe as well. 14 million plus the young Dane brings me in a slightly older Danish forward, meaning the Fulham fans will say they fleeced me on this transfer. But what I'll say is this: if he bagged me enough goals in Oyan's absence, then it will be what you call a win-win trade for Manchester United, Fulham, Mika, and Conrad as well. So coming in on a 5-year, 95 grand a week deal. Welcome to Old Trafford, Mika BRF. Yeah, really excited to give him a go for the first time ever, because as I briefly alluded to earlier, he was actually on the books of Arsenal as a young man, and I didn't know this. I just looked this up. But he was actually London-born, English-born, Danish international. I didn't realise that, but after leaving Arsenal, he's had his loan spells, gone to Sturm Graz, gone to Monaco, scored in both of those leagues, and of course getting a goal against me on match day 1 in the Premier League this season with a 90 finishing. I have no doubt when he comes off the bench for Sanchez, he'll get me the goals that Conrad didn't last season. I'll say it again, this may be a win-win trade for everyone involved. And that is going to do it for deadline day. We just had a loan bid for Dorgi from Sassuolo. That would have made total sense as well, but unfortunately it's going to run out of time now. So we'll leave things there for deadline day. One new player coming in our backup striker, and the top deals were, look at that man, Endrick to Aston Villa for £140 million. That is a ludicrous transfer there, and a signal of intent from Unai Emery. Vardiol is off to Leverkusen for £88.3 million, and City have signed Gordon from Newcastle as well. But the main concern for us heading to the new season was to add to the squad depth we didn't have last year. I would definitely say we have done that for this new season, with the likes of me coming in, better backup striker for me, Jarell Hato, better backup left back as well, and of course Kobe replacing Ugarte long term is a good transfer too. We don't need to blow the team up. We put the blueprint down last season, and now we're ironing out the extra wrinkles we had and starting to help this team take shape even more so in terms of the depth as opposed to just the first 11. I trust the team. I think we're going to be all right this season. Oh wait, hang on. Champions League draw. Who have we got? Forgot all about that. I literally forgot all about that. Well, there we go. We're starting off with Dortmund away as Kobe will return and we'll face Ugarte again. We've got Brentford in the Carrow Cup, by the way. Then Rangers at home as well. I always like facing Rangers or Celtic away at either Ibrox or Celtic Park. Then we're off to Atalanta. That's a tricky tie there away in Bergamo. Valencia at Mestalla. FC Twente at home. PSV away in the Netherlands. And our final two are going to be Barca at home and Sporting Lisbon as well. So I would definitely say out of those 8 league games there, we should be targeting at least 5 or 6 wins, and that'll be enough for a top 8 finish. But our first year back in Europe, being asked to reach the final, I'm going to say it again. My aim, quarter-final. Forget what the board is saying, man. That's way too ambitious. So, yeah, we'll end on this. Final game today, Spurs away. Totally forgot about that, man. I forgot we were back in Europe. But Spurs away from home in North London. And again, if we are to be Premier League winners this year, wins in these games will be absolutely priceless. So, let's get our 3rd win in a row. Come on, the Red Devils. Talked about it so many times, but you know, the overall of a player is not the most important thing. And you know, sometimes you'll have a player who on paper looks fantastic and you think, oh, he's going to be a baller. You know, other people use him and they think he's the best thing since sliced bread, but you're using him and thinking, I don't know what other people are seeing because he's just not working for me. And that's okay, you know, that's okay. It goes to show you that once again, as we always say, the most important thing is not a player's overall. Oh, Sancho clips the woodwork, but how you feel when using them. And for me, just didn't get on with Conrad. I think BRF will be a better player for us. Spurs are such an unpredictable team in career mode as well, man. I mean, last season is a brilliant example of that. They got to the Champions League final, yet also finished mid-table, you know. I mean, you do not know what kind of team they're going to be. You know, they could be an outside shot for a Premier League title, or they could finish in the bottom half of the league. I mean, there is just no way of telling what kind of side they're going to be as Elliot Anderson goes down early and Trafford almost tripped over him. And that is not all we needed. Early start of an injury, but we did mention this. We wanted more injuries this season. We should have more injuries now playing in Europe. That's the first of the year. Probably longer than the Bruise, I'd say. That's a cracking ball through. Trafford claims it well. Oh, Gomez. Brilliant. Sanchez through. He ain't going to miss this. Easy slot. There we go. Bottom corner. I love finishes that are like guided into the bottom corner. They are so underrated and aesthetically pleasing. But what a ball by Gomez. What a breakaway. Anderson still hobbling a little bit, but I might as well keep him out there. So this is a brief tip I would give you guys. So when a player has got a knock and you're playing in midweek, you might as well keep playing them. And the reason being is very simple. Oh, really well done. And Sancho's shot is blocked. They won't be able to recover in time. They will not be able to recover in time to play the midweek games. With that being the case, you're going to have to rest them in midweek anyway. So you might as well not burn energy of your bench player who's probably going to start the game in midweek. You'll just burn all this guy's energy and then he'll be recovered in 7 days' time, even if it's just a bruise. So my tip for when I've got a player on a knock, if I'm playing in midweek, is always keep him out there. Keep him on the pitch, because he has to get a rest in the week, regardless of how long or short-term the injury is. That's going to do it. Sanchez with another. Amiga sitting there on the bench thinking, I know what I've come in for. I know what my role is going to be. When this guy needs a breather, I'll fill in. But I'm never going to start in this team. He's that good. And he's shooting. Oh, what a goal. What a goal. 16 minutes to go. Well, I'm going to stick to the sub I've just made, which is take off Sanchez and bring on Mika to close the game out with Dortmund away on Tuesday. But struggles defensively to start the season off, continuing. No clean sheets so far. That's going to have to pick up if we are to do what we want this season. As Mika does pretty well, and it won't be a debut goal, but it will be a debut assist right from kickoff, getting involved. Gomez restores the 2-goal cushion. Surely, clean sheet gone, but points still wrapped up. Free kick right on the edge. I could do that little exploit there, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try and absolutely lever this with, who's my left footer now? Tyler, of course. Tyler and, do you know what? I'm going to give it to Susak. Why not? I'm going to give it to Susak. Because of the starts of the season he's had, why wouldn't I go with the kid who's been balling out? There's another. Come on. I'm getting so much better at free kicks, man. I used to be so bad at them. Now I can score about one every single season. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but considering the fact I used to go whole saves without scoring one. Well, we say it all the time. That's progression, man. You take it bit by bit, piece by piece, stage by stage. I'm never going to be regarded as a David Beckham-esque free kick taker, but I am starting to improve. But that'll do it for today's episode of The Realistic Hero as well, guys. So big fan of you watching. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. I'll return in the next one with the Carabao Cup against Brentford in the 3rd round. We'll have our first Champions League game, starting with Dortmund away, and more games in the Premier League, aiming to build on our decent start with 3 wins in our first 4 games. Have a great day. Much love, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.